Okay, we're live. Welcome back to Average Angler Life, aka Real Cast Fishing. I'll be doing one of these podcasts at the same time, actually recording it, and then I'll be posting it live at a later date. Anyhow, this round I want to just talk about specifically Blue River Ultralight lures. Asking AI. I did this earlier with fishing flies and decided to go and check out what AI says are some good lures to use on the Blue River. Blue River been stocked here just recently, and last week in October into early November, I got a chance to go and spend a week up there and do a little fishing, trying the center pin outfit that I have, as well as some fly fishing gear. But hey, I've gone up there also with ultralight gear as well, and there's a lot of folks that make the run up to the Blue River or to the Blue River, and they don't use fly fishing gear. Instead, they're using spinning gear, ultralight gear, and whatnot. And I've decided to go ahead and do what I did with the fishing flies, but apply it to ultralight lures. Okay. I'm gonna kind of take it slow here. Just do a quick overview of the lures, and then maybe even just take us into some Q&A, and maybe even show some videos from past trips that I've taken up to the Blue, as well as other trout stocking locations. I'm located in Texas, and the winter trout stocking season will start up here pretty close to well, November into December, all the way up until March. So similar to what they're doing at the Blue River up in Oklahoma, they're doing a November to March stocking, but in this case they start a little early, last week in October. So let's see. Let me just go ahead and just do a quick overview of that. Let some other folks join on the live stream, and then we'll take it from there. So bottom line, trout fever alert. Stock season is on fire at Oklahoma's Blue River. Weekly drops kicked off late October, and just this week they did stock the catch and release section just last week. And well, what I've heard so far is there's some good news with the catch and release section being some nice sized bruisers out there. Okay, we got some folks joining. Hi, Norin Reyes. Howdy, howdy. Appreciate you guys joining today. So that said, Blue River, located in Oklahoma. The intent was to ask AI what are best ultralight lures for trout fishing on Oklahoma's Blue River. What I noticed when I did the same thing with fishing flies is those fishing flies recommended additionally additionally applied to other locations. Let's see. Knox Carlson, hi, how's it going? Bro, please, L1. I don't know what that means. All right, but anyways, let me keep going. Thanks, Knox. Appreciate you joining. So let me go ahead and take you to these lures. So I asked AI, and what it came up with: spinners, some spoons, jigs, as well as soft plastics. And when I say the spinners, they called out three particular ones, and I'll just say them real quick: the rooster tail, the panther martin, as well as the Mepps anglia. And then for spoons, it threw out the Acme Phoebe lure, Castmaster, Little Cleo, and the Super Duper. And for jigs, trout magnets, as well as a marabou jig. And for soft plastics, it was recommending Berkeley Powerbait worms. So I just gave a little graphic here showing you what those different lures are, and then speaking into what they would recommend, or at least what AI was recommending. Let's see how virtual or AI virtual versus reality. So those that have fished the Blue or fished other locations, maybe this might be a good idea just to see if this actually does hold true. Okay, so I'll start out with the spinner, the spinners, Warden Rooster Tail. AI is recommending 1/32 to 1/8 ounce lures. I in particular keep them about 1/16 ounce. They feature a classic hackle tail, white, black, or olive. Spinning blade could be silver or gold, and you usually kind of fish them on a be it a steady retrieve, possibly a stop and go retrieve, but usually I just do a steady retrieve with it. In the case of my favorite rooster tail that I've used on the blue has been the fire tail. That's the one that I have pictured in the graphic. The reason being is it's got all these other colors in there. So maybe they want chartreuse, maybe they want a little green, yellowish thing, or maybe an orange, fire orange thing. That seemed to be a good catch-all for everything when it comes to different colors and whatnot. However, I've seen white, chartreuse, yellow, all of them have worked on the blue. And normally when I do bring my ultralight gear, I'll bring basically all these spoons that I show, or all these lures, I have them in my tackle box, with the exception of the marabou jig. I don't have that one. I have a different one. Okay, so first one, Warden's Rooster Tail. I give that one a thumbs up. Yes, I do agree that would be a very good one to take on the Blue River. I also would use them in the various ponds here that they stock during the trout stocking season here in Texas. Okay, let's see. Next item is another spinner. It's the Panther Martin, calling out 1/16 ounce. It's another inline spinner, but this one has a through the blade design. And the key there with that through the blade design, I just call them generic Panther Martin blades, because they seem the one that they use them the most. And in fact, when I do make my DIY inline spinners, that's what I'm using, is one of these Panther Martin style blades. But what it is you'll have a lure, an inline spinner that typically will have a blade, and it's usually attached with a clevis, this rotating that rotates around the shaft, and attaches the blade to that clevis and then onto the shaft. With the through the blade design, skip the clevis and just run the shaft right through that blade. The key with the Panther Martin is it can be retrieved at a much lower rate. Slow, you can even stop and it'll kind of helicopter down. And a lot of times I'll use a Panther Martin when, one, I know I need to fish the trout slow, and additionally they may be deeper, so I may just kind of let it helicopter down and wait for those strikes. So that's another one that I would say thumbs up. I would definitely take that one to the Blue River. Definitely take that to these different trout stocking locations in my area. Next one is the Mepps Anglia. I always thought it was Anglia, A-N-G-L-I-A. It's actually A-G-L-I-A. And the call out there, 1/32 to 1/16 ounce. I find that if you just get the plain old trout in the 1/0 size, that works for everything that I've used, both on the blue as well as fishing the different trout stocking areas in our area here in Texas. Traditional spinner, oval blade that spins easily. There's these other ones called the Black Fury, which has got a black blade with spots on it. Yes, you could have that, but I just usually go gold, silver, copper. They do come in a kit with the gold, silver, and copper. And what I typically will do is they may not be hitting one particular color, so I may have to shift to another blade color. So that's the main reason why I definitely like having that Mepps Anglia. All right. For the other ones, the Rooster Tail, the Panther Martin, usually I'll see them in both gold as well as silver. Very few I've picked up in the copper variety. I mainly stick with the Mepps Anglia when it comes to copper. All right, so those were the three spinners that's recommended by AI. I give all a thumbs up. Definitely want to have those if you're going to be taking a trip to the Blue River for those trout that they are stocking this season. So keep that in your back pocket. Definitely call it out if you think there's some other ones for a spinner standpoint to call. I know there's a Blue Fox variant, which is very close to, I think it's very close to the Rooster Tail. So I think it's like a brand deal or something, but bottom line, they work. Okay, let's go to spoons next. So this one, 4 spoons. They're all pretty similar to each other, but with some slight variations that you want to keep in your back pocket. All right, Acme Phoebe. I guess like Phoebe Cates from Fast Times at Ridgemont High from back in the 80s. Oops. 1/16 ounce, again, going with the smaller size. They do make them bigger, but you definitely want the smaller size. 1/16 ounce, maybe go to 1/8, but you don't really want to go much higher, especially if you're fishing with these trout on the blue. Let's see. It's a slim curved metal spoon. Sometimes it's kind of hammered as well as smooth. It's meant to flutter and flash as it moves through the water. Silver, gold, copper. Yo-yo retrieve is what they're recommending if you're fishing eddies and pools and whatnot. When I typically will use this is usually some of the faster water, like right downstream from lower crossing at Hughes Crossing. Just kind of cast as far as I can and just started swimming it upstream or retrieving it upstream and just standing by for the strike. That one has worked out well. Maybe even go a little bit heavier in weight if there's a stronger flow, but that seems to work well there. Let's see. Next up is the Cast Master. Gold, silver, 1/16 ounce again. The key here is very aerodynamic profile. For its size, it's pretty heavy, and you can get them in different colors and whatnot. But what's really cool about them is I tend to be able to cast them for distance. I can get a lot more distance on them, and then also work them deeper. Again, same thing, just a steady retrieve, just keep that fluttering motion going. Additionally, if you kind of do a stop and go retrieve, it'll flutter downwards as well. So keep that one in your back pocket when it comes to fishing the blue. Cast Master, you need that further cast, go for it. All right. Little Cleo, I've used it, not often, but I have used it, mainly saltwater fishing. All right. And a larger size, in fact, for some Spanish Max. But the Little Cleo, again, 1/16 ounce. It's a S-shaped curve, okay? And it does give it a wobbly motion. That's another good one to keep in your back pocket. Other than that, it's pretty similar to the other lures, save for that S-shaped curve. Okay. Next up is the Super Duper, 1/32 ounce to 1/8 ounce. It's weird. There's like the 500, the 501, the 502, the 53, I think, and 504. There's a whole bunch of them. Bottom line, you want to make sure you get the one that is close to 1/16 ounce. Okay, you don't want to go too heavy or too big in this case. All right, it's different than the others because it's a bent piece of metal. All right, and it does have a snap clip on the end. You want to tie your line directly to the snap clip. Don't put a swivel. It's part of the action that you impart. Adding a swivel will definitely affect the action of the Super Duper. Okay, the intent of the Super Duper, when you cast it, you want to cast it slow. I've seen at times fishing the blue where you're casting it and you're using a high stick retrieve, and what's happening is you're causing the lure to kind of flutter at an angle. All right, that seemed to work well on the blue at times. And the big thing about the Super Duper is one, you can do a countdown retrieve to let it drop and get it to a deeper part of the river or depth. Additionally, you can do a steady retrieve if they're wanting that, and then a stop and go retrieve. Okay, kind of what you can use across the board, across all these different lures. But with the Super Duper, you definitely want to make sure that you pay attention to that retrieve. Okay, so in the case of spoons, Acme Phoebe, the Cast Master, Little Cleo, Super Duper. I typically will keep Super Dupers and Cast Masters in the tackle box. Not so much with the Little Cleo. I do have the Acme Phoebe in in my tackle box. It's not the 1/16 ounce. It's more of a 1/8. Mainly because I wanted some additional lures, and Scotty's was selling them, so I went ahead and grabbed a couple. Alrighty. And then I do have some little Cleos. Again, they were selling them, so I went and grabbed some and put them in the tackle box just as backup. But I don't typically fish them as much as I do with the Super Duper or the Castmaster. All right, up next is the Trout Magnet. All right, 2 jigs it calls out, the Trout Magnet and the Marabou jig. In the case of the Trout Magnet, 164, 1/32 ounce. It's basically 1 gram. And the key to this one is it is if you buy the pack or the kit, it'll come with some 2-pound Stren, or correction, 2-pound SOS Trout Magnet Mono. It'll come with the Trout Magnets with some additional extra jig heads, more of a shad dart jig head. And then it'll come with these floats. All right, little tiny float deal. And the intent of the Trout Magnet is to actually fish it under a float. Just cast it out, let it drift, and you can twitch your line and it'll cause the Trout Magnet to basically jig vertically. All right, and that one has been a definite one you want to try. Be it on the Blue River, it's been a killer at Turner Falls. They stocked that one up over there in Davis, Oklahoma recently, and that has been a killer for us when we fished up there. And then again, these local ponds and whatnot they stock in our area here in Texas during trout stocking season. Trout Magnet seems to work really well. I myself use that when I'm using my ultralight bait casters, bait finesse systems fishing. I like to use the 1 gram Trout Magnet without any float or whatnot. It's kind of like if you're into bait finesse style fishing, being able to cast a Trout Magnet is sort of like your benchmark to see how well a particular ultralight bait caster can cast. If it can cast a 1 gram Trout Magnet, then you're good to go to use it for other light lures and whatnot. But that's BFS fishing. We're just talking ultralight lures in general. Okay. All right. So that was the Trout Magnet jig. The kit comes with a whole bunch of different colors and whatnot, so you'll be able to change things as need be. And it's reasonably priced. That's pretty surprising there. The only thing I do notice is I wish they'd give you more jig heads, because I tend to use up a lot of those shad darts because I break off or whatnot. So it would be nice to have some more of those. Okay, next up is the Marabou jig. Trout Magnet sells them. I basically tie my own Marabou jig. It's very similar to what I use for fly fishing, but I tie it heavier just because I need it to be heavier, 1 gram or higher. Usually I get it about 2 grams when I'm using a Marabou jig on my ultralight bait casters. All right, so those were the jigs. Lastly, we're talking the soft plastic Berkley Power Bait Trout Worm. They come in this package with a whole bunch in there, but they're all stuck together, and you have to kind of just snip where it gets thin. You can tie them Texas rigged. My fishing partner likes to tie them wacky rigged, just like you do bass fishing, and he'll use a bubble float and uses ultralight, little 4.5 foot, 5 foot ultralight spinning gear that he uses, and put that under a float, a bubble float, clear plastic bubble basically, and fish that. I again would highly recommend that if you're going to be fishing the blue. Looks like AI called them off. Sounds perfect for prepping for a trip to the blue. You definitely want to have these here. So I'll call them out real quick just to summarize, and then we'll kind of shift over. I mean, I know I gave you just a quick overview. I will post a on my partner blog. There'll be a article on this that actually calls out each of these as well. So stay tuned for that. I'll put that link in the community post as well. But other things that AI called out in particular, let me go ahead and go to that real quick here. Okay. let's see, right here, it gave a pro tip that I liked. Okay, it's saying kick off with spinners like rooster tails at dawn for fast action, then drop the jigs, soft plastics, and slower water. Let's see, latest report, stocking report shows prime numbers, so grab these at Scotty's, at Tishomingo. Yes, definitely have to stop at Scotty's, one stop, and definitely pick up some of these lures if you forget to get them on the way. And then, yeah, if you do catch anything, definitely let me know in the comments and the community posts and whatnot. I'm certainly interested to see if this AI is actually true. Seeing from what it has already described, I would say yes, thumbs up. This thing is spot on when it comes to some of the lures to bring to the Blue River. Okay, and again, spinners, rooster tails, panther martin, Mepsa anglia, spoons, Acme Phoebe, the Castmaster, a little Clio, as well as the Super Dupers, jigs, trout magnet, marabou jigs, and then your soft plastic, that Berkeley power bait, power worm. Okay. All right. So with that, let me go ahead and shift over to, well, I think a picture is worth 1,000 words, they say. Well, here's some video. Okay. So I'm just going to go back to some of the old videos that I had, and let's just kind of call out a few things. I believe this was 3 years ago, doing some ultralight bait casting over there at the Blue River, down by the by Hughes Crossing. All right, let me go ahead and kick the video off. Combos, and we're gonna see if we can catch something on ultralights.
Oh, it's a nice size one. All right, first fish of the day on a silver Super Duper. Gotta remember to have your tag that has your customer ID or your license number on there. We'll just put it over there because you can't share stringers, and we'll just kind of let them sit there while we go back and do some more fishing out here. All right, slow retrieve. All right, let's try copper. Hit it right at the top. All right, first one on a copper Super Duper.
Okay, so I pointed out where I cast that lure. I'm basically getting it right at the tail end of where the water in the seam of fast water and slow water is. I'm just casting out in that direction, and then I'm going to be reeling back up.
Jumper. All right, second one on the Super Duper copper. All right, we're gonna try a gold Super Duper. Right, gold Super Duper. All right, close. Gold Super Duper.
Okay, and then I just want to call out how you notice I'm doing a steady retrieve, just kind of bringing that Super Duper through the where the trout are lurking. Water's a little bit deeper in some of these spots, these holes and whatnot, and I'm really watching as well as feeling for the strike. Alrighty. Again, you see that slow retrieve.
Little guy. By that rock, there's a depression, a hole about maybe 10 to 12 feet deep, I think. Just guessing. And we're just casting right in there and letting it sink, and then reeling in really slow. Oh, Had a tap. Another tap. Missed it. There he is. All right. Took it on a slow retrieve. Nice one.
And again, the key is a slow retrieve.
Try an inline spinner, rooster tail, the fire tiger. I got one.
Okay, another steady retrieve. Just steady, not fast, not slow, just kind of steady. Keep that blade moving.
All right. Fire tiger, inline spinner. Those other ones were just tailing it. These guys are actually hitting it. So let's go and bring them in. All right, nice. Oh, is it the gold one? Gold super duper. All right, cool. Is he bigger? He looks bigger.
Might be a keeper.
Nice, gold super duper. Oh, you got the one with the prism.
It's more of a countdown retrieve. Let it sink a little, and then he's just slow retrieve in.
You got him? Oh, wow. I barely saw the line move.
Yeah, it's small.
And again, when you're fishing a super duper, make sure you tie your line directly
Gold
to the
super
little
duper, this one with the
swivel
prism.
or snap clip that's on the super duper. Don't add a swivel.
All right, we're going to switch out to the copper super duper, but in a smaller size, the 501. Copper super duper. Yeah? Now this one hit a copper super duper. Copper. Oh, that's a nice one.
He was escaping and I had to jump on him. That hurt a little bit.
All right, nice. There's a bunch over there. It's easy.
And
to
again,
get
this is
to
upriver from
if you
Hughes
go by
Crossing, the
water.
low water crossing at Blue River.
Easily.
Yeah. Oh.
I reeled really quick and then let it just sink. So I just did like a real quick 2-3 turn. And then I just let it sink.
Uh-huh.
And then I went the reel and I went, oh, that's different. And it was, he just started running left and right.
All right, cool.
Super duper. All right. And that's it. All right. And again, you don't want to put a swivel on when you're fishing a super duper. I had a little user error there. A rod tip came off.
Copper super duper 502, bigger size.
So classic case where I made an adjustment based on color. The tried gold, there was a like hit or miss, and then they kind of stopped on it, so I went back to a super copper super duper, and that color change just made that difference.
Yeah, yours is longer. Mine's just fatter.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same.
Oh, I got a little tubbo on mine. See?
Alrighty, so that said, bottom line, that was what super dupers as well as inline spinners were working on the Blue River that trip. Let's see if I can take you to another one. I don't believe this is going to be on the Blue, but this is how I'm fishing a trout magnet for trout at one of our Texas community ponds during, I forget what season it was, but it was during another trout stocking season. Okay, so let's see, trout magnets. I think it was right here. I think it was this one. Yeah, here we go. All right, let me let it run. Okay. Okay, let's do it.
Sunday over here at Waterloo up in Denison, Texas. I've got the Bait Finesse Systems gear here, hopefully catching the first fish of the year on a 1 gram trout magnet. This is the Featherfly Kingfisher on that Handing Ultralight rod, 6 foot, and I got that trout magnet on the end here, and really excited because this will cast that trout magnet, that 1 gram lure. Now let's see if I can catch a fish. I've yet to catch one this year. It's been a little slow go for yours truly, but gonna make it hopefully today. All right, let's work our way up the embankment here and get us to the pond. It was stocked, I believe, Friday or Saturday. There was a derby yesterday, so it's hopefully a good sign that we'll be able to catch something here. Oh wow. All right. Oh yeah, very slippery. Okay, I made it. Woo! All right, let's start over here. See where this takes us. Try right here. All right, it's getting out there. Oh, there's a hit. Oh, right there. Oh, it's little. It's little, but hey, first fish of the year on a trout magnet with the Kingfisher. Nice. This was the trout magnet right here, and this is the reel and the rod, and let's see if we can get it out there. I went and set this to 14 now just to keep it from overrunning on me. It's going out there and no overrun. Nice. Right there, tapped it. Oh, he's a little one. Maybe that's what the size is over here. He's little though.
And as I mentioned previously, when I was fishing the Blue, I used trout magnets as well, but my fishing buddy would typically use a bubble float, as well as the kit that comes with a float itself. We use that up at Turner Falls, kind of fishing it vertically and taking advantage of that. In this case, I'm just using some ultralight bait casting gear. This is that Kingfisher Flight Feather on a Magic L handing rod, capable of casting with a bait caster 1 gram trout magnets.
Oh, it's getting out there. About 40 feet or so. There's a tap. There's the hit. Oh yeah. Oh, that one took it good too. All right. Took a little bend in the rod that time. A little bit bigger. Nice. All right. I guess it's going to be just this size, so I guess I'll keep this one. There's a hit.
And again, note the retrieve. Just a very slow,
Tapped
steady
it. There's the
retrieve.
hit right there. Oh, yeah.
Temperatures, we had freezing temperatures
that.
that day.
All right. I think I'm going to let this one go. He is little. The trout magnet I'm using, it's 1 gram. And I do a little super glue to help keep it stay on there. And it's got a little split tail, and I'm just going with the orange and chartreuse looking color because, well, I think a lot of folks may have been using power bait because I can see some of the stuff down below of that color. So let's see if we can get some more. Let's go with movement.
Sticking with that steady retrieve.
There's the hit. Oh, okay. There we go. Oh, this one's bigger. All right, a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. All right, I guess we'll keep this one. This will be number 3.
Okay, and then other thing to call out, if you kind of get a glimpse of it, you'll see that I don't push much line on the spool. I'll do like maybe 50 to 75 turns max. It can definitely hold a lot more line, but I kind of use less line for 2 reasons. 1, if I do get a backlash, I can recover from it quickly. 2, it just makes that spool that much lighter, and I can take advantage of the capability of this bait caster casting those ultralight lures, in this case that 1 gram trout magnet.
There's a hit right there. Oh, got off. He got off. Got away on me.
Okay, I think that is I think that gives you the idea of what a trout magnet can do. But I did want to call out one other thing. Let me take you to another video. Okay.
Hi, I'm Glenn, avid fisherman.
And this is another pond here in Texas where I went fishing with this same outfit. I'm using a smaller rod. The one that I was using in that other video was a 6-foot Magic L handing rod. This is actually the 4.5 foot. What happens is I tend to side cast when I am ultralight bait casting with these BFS combos that I'm using. And when I side cast, there's a tendency that I might hook into something behind me, be it some high grass or some bushes and whatnot. And so I'll typically fish usually with the shorter rod, 4.5 foot, 5 foot rods. Alrighty. But I want to show you here what the capability of the trout magnet, as well as, in this case, one of these little ultralight bait casters.
Average Joe, and this round, yours truly taking out the Kingfisher bait finesse reel, along with that handing Magic L rod, ultralight rod, bait finesse style fishing over here at the local pond. And after a little tweaking here and there, because I had to shift from one lure to other, I went to a trout magnet. 1 gram trout magnet, got it dialed in, was able to get some good cast in, get it over there where I needed to, where the fish were lurking. Well, in this case, this particular fish was a little bit closer to shore than normal. And, well, I guess a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, I wonder what a video's like. Check out this video. It's a nice fish. I'll let the video do the talking.
I'm using 4-pound Stren mono. Hi, Ground Fog. Thanks for joining tonight. So again, 4-pound strand mono. I've got an ultralight 4.5 foot Magic L handing rod, ultralight bait caster, and I'm fishing a 1 gram trout magnet for trout. And lo and behold, this guy hit. It's definitely putting a bend in the rod too.
Woo!
Pretty cool, isn't it? Alrighty. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show was one, maybe use an ultralight gear, but be prepared. You might get a big one on the line too. And oh, by the way, even though it's a little ultralight lure, you'll be surprised what'll hit some of these small lures. Okay. All right. I want to take you to another example of me fishing with the Mepps. Let's see. Inline spinner, and it was a different retrieve. Actually, no, wait. I think I need to take you to one that, let's see, ultralight super dupers. Oh, here we go. Inline spinners. Okay. All right, this is another pond in our area that gets stocked. You can see it was Trout Derby Day, and there's a ton of folks here. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of people there. That's part of the business when you come out there. But this one I want to show how inline spinners and how I'm working them. And if you decide to go hit the Blue River up in Oklahoma, or if you know, whatever your area, this is maybe something to keep in your back pocket when it comes to fishing for trout with inline spinners. I think there's some good takeaways out of this video. So let me go ahead and run that one.
Good morning. It's Saturday, February 19, and we're just going to make a run up to McKinney Town Lake where they hosted a trout derby. It started here at 8 o'clock. It's about 10 o'clock right now, so I'm going to see if we can get a live video going, and then, well, after the derby, maybe try to catch you something on that bait finesse system style fishing. And I got that DIY inline spinner as well as some other bait finesse fishing material or lures, so let's see how that turns out. Okay, we're here. I actually did a little live stream and showed what was biting. It looked like most of the bites were happening on this side of the pond, and they do have it partitioned off, so that's good. Last time they had to release it to the whole lake because of the water issues. I think it was flooding. But that said, got a pretty cool little bag here that has some information about the recreation opportunities here in McKinney. And one of the things in the goodie bag was, guess what? Right here. Let's see if I got it. Right here. It comes with a little Senko. Looks like a Gary Yamamoto Senko. This is like a 5-inch one. Oh man. 4-inch one is the one we've been using on the bait finesse style fishing, but hey, those 5-inch ones work too. That said, we'll go take a look at things over here shortly and maybe try getting a little fishing done with our bait finesse fishing rod. Okay, and this round I'm using the Shimano Scorpion 17. I got the do-it-yourself inline spinner on there, and then I got that Bass Pro Shop Microlight 4'10" rod, fiberglass. Start up with that do-it-yourself inline spinner, then we switched over to the Firetail Rooster Tail, and while we were at it, we did see a few folks catching some fish. Looked like they were getting them on power worms, power bait, and some corn. There's one over there. Nice one. Cheaper to keeper. All right, first fish of the day. Let's let this guy go. All right, that was on the Firetail. Had a slight nip at it, and then the second one was a good hit. We ended up getting that guy. So 1 strike and 1 catch on the Firetail 1/16 ounce gold blade. Steady retrieve, or actually it's a slow retrieve. I'll show you real quick. It's basically this speed right here. So bite's consistent on the Firetail. Okay, slow retrieve, slow retrieve.
That's all I'm doing. I'm doing a slow, steady retrieve, and I'm feeling for that strike.
retrieve. Actually, it's a
Watch the
slow
rod tip.
retrieve. And it just comes in spurts. And it's like they're doing a circle around the pond.
Do over.
This bait finesse style is just really rocking right now. I'm able to just keep casting, not worry about the back cast or correction, the backlash. Just got a hit there, so it's about 6 strikes so far, or 7. And it's a slow retrieve. About like that right there.
There it is, right there.
What was that?
You can feel the tension on the line. Go ahead and set the hook.
Slow retrieve. Alright. Not very fast.
Okay, so that was the inline spinner. See, I showed you inline spinner. I showed you the trout magnet, the super duper. Let's see if I can take you. Let's see. There's another one I wanted to show. Okay. Let's see. I think I've got it over here. Here we go. This is back to super dupers, and what I wanted to show here was, oh, bear with me. Okay, let me switch. Okay, what I wanted to show here was how I am fishing the super duper, and I got polarized glasses on, and I can see the fish reacting to the presentation. In this case, that super duper I'm fishing.
Second day of stocking over here at Bethany, and it's early morning before sunrise. I think it's going to be sunrise here shortly. I'm going to give it a shot here real quick and see if something will bite. Using a silver super duper this time. Let's go look over here.
Okay, and what I said earlier about not, let's see, okay, yeah. So it comes with a snap swivel, okay? You want to tie your line directly to that snap swivel. Don't add, or actually snap clip. It doesn't have a swivel. You don't want to put on a swivel because that's going to cause the lure to, the action on the lure to be affected. What instead you want is to tie directly to that clip. And when you reel in, what happens is it actually wobbles side to side when you fish it. You fish it slow, and you want to fish it side to side where it has that side to side motion. It's kind of dragging through the water like so, but at the same time it's just doing this little wobble. All right, and that is the action that is getting the trout to strike. Okay, if you're going too fast, it's not going to wobble, and well, you're probably not going to get as much strikes as you could have if you slowed it down. All right, let's keep going.
See if it's jumping.
Key at this time is to maintain that steady retrieve. Watch for that V-wake as that trout breaks through and hit the hook set.
Alright, old super duper. We can see him moving around, schooling, so that's a good sign. That's number one. Hitting the gold one, silver one didn't want, and they want a fast retreat. Kind of see a V-wake when they come look at it. So let's see if we can get another one. See a school out there. So let's see if we can cast to it. Nope, not that time. He's hitting it. Dang it, you hit it.
Yeah, they're doing a circle around the pond.
Silver, one on gold. This will be, we missed 4 other ones, so hey, it's the way it is. The school's coming back, so see if we can get another one to hit. Oh, I see a school going by. He went for it. This one's chasing it and he hit it twice. dropped it.
You can see him jumping around in front of me.
They want movement. They want movement. Passing schools as they go by. This is second one on a
Fun stuff.
silver super duper.
Okay, let's see if I can show you another one that give you a good demo of how things work for yours truly. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to the Blue River. And let's see. Let's go back to the blue. And this one I'm fishing super dupers again. Okay. It's going to be a commercial, so let me go and jump past that as soon as I can. There we go. All right. And let's go ahead and pop that video in.
The Blue River for some ultralight bait casting for trout. Before we go there, we stop at Bucky's for a quick pit stop. And then sure enough, soon after, we're over there at the Blue River, stopping at Scotty's to pick up some more super dupers.
All right, today we're at the Blue low water crossing. We're going to try out the bait finesse style super dupers or whatever works today. Wish us luck.
River is clear at the low water crossing. Things are promising. Area is not crowded. We do see other folk catching some fish, and it looks very promising. Just got to figure out what the pattern is. Fortunately, fished for a few and did not get any hits. And well, with that, we needed to go and move elsewhere. Before we go, we need to go and try fishing upriver and see what's happening here at the crossing. Unfortunately, sea trout moving, but no strikes. Went further downriver to give it a try. Fishing a rainbow trout super dupper. That's that one that has a rainbow trout pattern and is white mainly. I see trout moving about. They're nipping the lure. Unfortunately, I'm not striking, or at least not getting them. Doing a count 6 retrieve, letting it sink before I reel it in. And I'm anticipating that the trout are going to be deeper, less active because of that cold front that just came by. So they're here. I just got to figure out what that pattern is. So I continue fishing, and in this case, kind of take note of the angle of the rod and that change impacting, or at least getting them to elicit a strike. Okay, I've got a fish on, first fish of the day, and what I noticed, and my fishing partners also noticed, was holding that rod at a higher angle, put some other action enough to give a little change to where the trout were striking. So if we weren't doing that, the trout seemed to kind of ignore it or kind of just nip at it, but once we lifted the rod up, it seemed we got better opportunity to catch a fish or two in this case.
Oh, he's bigger. Nice. Number 2 hoo-hoo for you. Hoo-hoo.
And this is the countdown retrieve, so I'm casting out, counting down, and then I'm retrieving back in. Fisher partners suggesting that I go ahead and lift up on the rod, and sure enough, it worked.
Oh, stop it. You don't even know how to get here. Ah, right there.
You're basically trying to not be cold. I know that.
I'm okay. What's the temperature right now? Is it?
Yeah, I wore hip waders.
Yeah. I better catch it quick.
Really slow. Slow and low. High.
And you're not counting?
No, it's all about the feel.
Jeez, feel. You're counting. You just don't know it. Oh, there's a hit. Slow, yeah, slow.
Ball's pretty quick.
Slow. All right, that's it. I'm changing. Oh, wait, hold up. I got to make sure I got it.
This is why I don't count. Watch.
Okay.
All right, big bro.
Although, don't give it to me yet. Let me make sure I got this in the bag first. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, we had a slight change of plans here. I had to change clothes because I got a little dunking wearing those pants waders. So, or correction, the hip waders. I should have went with pants waders. But hey, good to go now. All right, so a great day here on the Blue. I've limited out already. My fishing partners are out there trying to get their limit as well. What we're doing today is using super dupers. so far. Copper super duper. This rainbow trout super duper was working well, and basically it's a slow retrieve, very slow retrieve, and they're just kind of tapping at it at the end, and we're hooking them. So good.
Alrighty, so that said, that is again the super duper slow retrieve, holding it on a vertical. Okay, more of a high stick retrieve, and that seemed to get the trout to bite. Specifically, you're kind of keeping the trout or the super duper at this angle as you retrieve it, and it's done this wobbly motion side to side. Again, don't use a swivel, and tie directly to the snap clip that is on that super duper. Alrighty. All right, let's try one more here before we call it. Okay. See, I showed trout magnets. I showed the inline spinner. Oh, hey. Let's go and do a little recap of saltwater fishing, maybe. What do you say? Let's see. Right here, this is when I was fishing some, let's see, right here, simple setup for spade fish. Yeah, that's what it was. Let me show you that one. Okay.
I was using to catch these spade fish. I've got a float along with some wire leader attached to the treble hook. I'd say about a size 10. I had some fish bites on there as well as a little piece of shrimp. Right there's that fish bite and piece of shrimp. And here I'm just going to cast it out using that Shimano Corrado BFS-flipping on that Yuzuri braided line. Awesome line, I have to say. And I'd cast it out, let it sit, and then I'd kind of give it a little jig motion, like just a little tap, like a just real slow retrieve, and then I'd watch that indicator, in this case the bobber or the popping cork, get hit, take it just slightly under. These weren't the big spade fish, they're 14-inch minimum, so it just kind of took it a little bit. But here you can get a good view of this guy.
All right, I just wanted to show you that you can catch other things on a ultralight bait caster. All right, let's go one more. Okay, let's see where this takes us.
Style.
Okay. In fact, let me go ahead and increase the resolution on this so you get a better view of it. Okay. What I did here was I am fishing, let's see, I'm fishing back at the Galveston Fishing Pier. I'm using an ultralight bait caster, saltwater style, fishing under the lights. And I just want to give you guys an idea of the capability of this setup. So when it comes to trout fishing, you definitely won't be undergunned when it comes to that. All right. Let me just fix this a little bit more. Doing this on the fly here. Okay. All right. And then I just kind of up the resolution here, and then you guys can have a better view of it. Okay, let's do that. All right. Let's give it a try.
Back with these tandem rigs, all right? H&H lure tandem rigs, okay? And I'm just gonna work the lights, and what I've noticed so far is they want a steady retrieve, slow and steady. So let's go over here by the light and take a look at it, okay? All right, and day is Sunday. Yeah, Sunday, August something. I already just lost track of time, but okay, you can see a bunch of the some needle nose. You'll see the occasional croaker come back up. There's a whole ton of sand trout in there also, and I guarantee there's probably a speckled trout in the mix. So what I want to show you is how I just kind of work this ultralight bait caster in the lights. Let the tandem rig sink slowly, and then just do a steady retrieve in, just like so. And we'll let there's a tap, there's another tap, okay, there's another tap. Okay, I'm gonna let it sink a little. Okay, there's two chasing it right now. Another one chasing it. There's actually a bigger one down there chasing it. Oh, maybe I should get some of those mullet. Maybe live mullet. What do you think? Let's go and drive it right in there. Steady retrieve. Okay, there's a lot of these needle nose. There's a hit. All right, fish on. Oh, fish off, fish off. Bummer, bummer. Let's try it again. Okay. Let's go cast out. I'll just cast it out in the dark, just on the edge of the dark here. And I'll just, oh, we got some jumpers. Just a steady retrieve. What I have is some 20-pound test Yazuri. It's a same diameter of 4-pound test. But unfortunately, I can only, oh wow, ooh, look at that. I wonder if I can live line some mullet in the mix here. Let's give it a try here in a moment. Cast it out, work it in slowly. All right, there's a hit, got him. Okay, let's see if I can double up. No, his buddy don't want to play. Okay. All right. Tandem rig, H&H tandem rig right there. Little sand trout. Sand troutus. I got a bunch of mullet also that I'm gonna try live lining later once I see some of these bigger guys out there. But at this point, these guys want to play. Okay, let's just make an adjustment here. Oh shoot, he's in there good. All right, and the gear that I'm using, H&H tandem rig. Okay. Got the Shakespeare Ugly Stick. Okay, Shakespeare Ugly Stick and Shimano Corrado BFS XG. Got it on purpose for these occasions. In this case, ultralight bait casting under the lights. One of my favorite things doing when I go to the coast here, Texas coast. There, look at that. There's a hit. Steady retrieve. Steady retrieve. Okay, there's one chasing. Oh, there's some bigger ones in the mix. I wonder maybe if I should put on some of those mullet, live mullet. Howdy, howdy, how's it going, y'all? Okay, all I'm doing is just using some tandem rigs here. Okay, I got one chasing it. There's a hit. Another one hitting it. Bunch of the gar and whatnot. Not gar, I mean needle nose. And I think if I put one of those mullet on that I caught earlier today, cast netting, I think I might have a good opportunity to catch one. All right, let's try. Well, I tried the steady retrieve. Let's try a stop and go retrieve. Okay, I'm gonna let it go out into the distance in the dark, slow, steady. Okay, okay, there's a hit. There's a hit. Okay. Another tap. Ah, missed it. Missed it. He tapped it. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, let's go back out. Okay. This is working in slow. Okay, there we go. Hello, hello. I see some folks on. How's it going? Catching some sand trout is what we call them. Sand trout, but there's a whole bunch of, oh, I forgot what they call them now. Needle nose. Needle nose. And you can see there's a ton of them out there. It's a mix of croaker as well as croaker and sand trout. Okay, so, all right. I do have some minnows. Oh, look, there's a nice one there that just chased it. Oh, and there's a nice one. All right, sand, oh, denied.
All right, so that gives you an idea of what it's like fishing one of these ultralight bait casters on the coast. Again, similar tactics that I was using on the Blue River, where I do a steady retrieve or a stop and go, even the countdown retrieve. All right, but hey, while we're talking saltwater, love saltwater fishing, let me take you to another video that was on that same trip, and just kind of give you an idea of other things I was catching. Again, ultralight bait casting, gotta love it. BFS, Bait Finesse Systems Fishing.
And I just learned this today on how you catch needlefish, that fish bites work on needlefish. All right, right now there's a bunch of needlefish here. So far today I've caught some pompano, some like croaker, whiting and whatnot. And now I'm gonna try to get some needlefish. Got the ultralight bait caster. It's that one I got just last year, just for this trip here. Okay, Shimano Corrado BFS XG. I got 20-pound Yazuri braid. It's a 20-pound, but it's 4-pound diameter mono equivalent. And let's see, I've got 10-pound mono here. And then I've got a little split shot. I don't even know what split shot that is. And then I've got 10-pound fluorocarbon on a, I believe this is a size 10 treble hook. Okay. And then I've got fish bite that I've cut in a triangle. Initially it was a rectangle, and then I just cut it in an angle, and it gave me this deal here. All right. And bear with me. I just want to make sure everybody's good to go. And what I want to just show you is what I learned today. And I'll send another, or I'll set up another follow-up video, but actually it's kind of slow right now. So hey, we might as well take advantage of the slowness and have some fun bait finesse style fishing. So let's go. Cast it out. No problem getting it out there. And then all it is just this right here, twitchy action. And there we go, got one on. Needlefish. Oh, look at the jellyfish down there. Oh, yeah, and that's what else happens is they'll get on, and then as you lift them up, they'll get off. But hey, that's what happens. But what I did was about 10 casts, I get maybe one that I actually able to land, but they do. I mean, look, right now there's about 20 in the water, all kind of trying to hit it, okay? And see if I can get another one to take. And you can see I can cast it pretty far with this ultralight, you know, bait finesse style casting. Okay, I got one coming up behind it, two actually chasing it. One, two, three, four, got one on. Oh, he came off. Got another one on, came off, all right. And these fish bites work pretty good for this. Just cast it out, reel it in. I did get this one fish earlier. It's called a leather jacket. Didn't know what it was, but it turns out it's it's got some little needle-like spines that can hurt you. So, ooh, got lucky there. Got very lucky. Okay, let me see if there's anything on the chat. Okay, how's it going, everybody? Got a couple of folks on. All right, just having a little fun. It'll be our last day out here at Galveston Fishing Pier. Our annual trip. This is our 5th day, and so far we've caught some black tip shark. We got some black drum. We also helped out some folks bring in some black drum. And then I got a pompano. So that's the one keeper that we kept so far. But I think tonight we may, oh, shoot. I did get a speckled trout also earlier, 16-inch, so legal size. And ended up giving that one away. Way too early in the trip to put on ice and make the trip back home. It's a 5-hour drive back home, so we usually wait till the last day to actually keep anything. But as I'm showing you here, this is some ultralight bait casting, saltwater style. Okay, see if anyone's on the chat. Howdy, howdy, howdy everyone. Okay, we're here in Galveston, Texas, on the Texas coast. And I am ultralight bait casting with some fish bites. And I'm going for these needlefish. And so far I land one out of every 10, 15 strikes, I guess. But earlier, they've been stealing my bait and also not hooking up with anything that I was using, but this seemed to be the most consistent right now. There's another hookup. Well, this guy really wants it. Holy cow. May have to try this again at night. Guys, get a better view of it. Let's see, here's one. Oh, he's on. Okay, there's one on. Okay, another one on. Oh, he got off. There's another one. Okay, that was like 3 in a row, and then that one threw it. Okay. All right, certainly fun. I've been in Galveston. All right. That pompano, that was pretty cool. Back. I think he's the pure mascot. Just keep, they're like,
see if I can
they're like scavengers.
take you to one where I catch one.
You know. Oops. All right. Okay. All right. This one's on. Okay.
All right.
Now the trick is once you got them on, can you actually land them? All right. There he goes. He's
right
off.
There.
All right. Maybe I'll just do the riptide lips technique and flip them over the railing here in a moment. Okay. Let's go.
Okay, let me shift over to another video, and this one is going back to trout fishing. and I want to talk about the
Okay,
Mets inline spinner. Actually, no, this is just me fishing a local pond that I fish. Okay, and let's see if I have this set up right. Here, let's pop in a few things. I have to adjust this one because this one's actually in a landscape format. All right, so take it out a little bit. And this is a local pond that I fish throughout the year. And what I want to again show you is the capability of the inline spinner on this bait finesse gear, but you can certainly use the same on ultralight spinning gear and use it again for trout. Works throughout the year for other fish, but you definitely will have the opportunity to catch a fish or two with this baby. Right, I think I almost got it. Just got to extend it out a little bit more. Holy cow. There it is. And down here. And then back up. All right. Yeah. Do this on the fly. You get used to it after a while. All right. Okay, so I'm working an inline spinner at a local pond. And I want to show you again the capabilities of this baby right here.
Good morning. We're here at Lake Glen. Got the Scorpion BFS XG bait finesse style rod, or correction reel, and then got a short rod along with the Mepps Anglia size 0 in copper blade, and water's clear. So let's see if we can get a fish to bite. We'll just fish it slow. Oh, there's a hit. Oh man, missed it. Let's try it again. He was on there briefly. We'll just keep it moving slowly, a steady retrieve, keeping it just right under the surface, right there. Nice. Look at that. Let's start the day off with a bluegill. Nice. What's nice about this Mepps Anglia, it works on trout, works on bass, works on bluegill. And today, right now, we've got a bluegill that took. It's going to keep a slow retrieve, keeping the blade spinning, and I can see that the lure is just under the surface. It's just barely under. I'd say about maybe an inch. And it looks like it's going to be a steady bite on the bluegill.
And this is the exact same lure that I'm using for trout during the trout stocking season. Mepps Anglia, in this case, is the copper blade. The reel is a Shimano Scorpion BFS XG that I showed previously. And then on top of it, I'm using a little short Cabela's, I think it's like 2.5, 3 foot rod. Very short rod.
Ollie. There's a hit. Nice. Okay, bluegill are loving this one.
All right, that was certainly fun. All right. Okay, getting ready to close things out, but I want to end it with I think this is one you guys may find useful.
I'm Glenn, avid fisherman, average Joe, and this round we're talking ultralight bait casting.
Okay, I think I need to go ahead and up the video here so you can see this one better. I thought this was more of a vertical format as well, but it isn't. Or I mean, it's in a vertical format. Just pop it over here so you can see it. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and do it.
Bait Finesse Systems Fishing, and this is the Casking Zephyr. This is the one without the reel clicker. I've got them both, though. I've got the one with the reel clicker that makes that nice sound when the drag is getting pulled out or the line's getting pulled out. And then I have this one without the reel clicker, which works just as well. One of the key things you want to take away with this is when you are using them, I usually start out with less line just to give me a little wiggle room when I'm educating my thumb. And additionally, I've got a little video here that just shows you how I like setting up the drag, or correction, the spool tension and the magnetic brake, so I can get a good cast out of it. And check it out. This is that Cast King Zephyr with the reel clicker. So let's see if I can show you.
All right, well, user error here. It looks like I shifted back to a landscape format. So let me go ahead and fix that so you guys can see what I'm talking about. What happened here is someone asked me how I set up my bait caster, bait finesse, BFS fishing, but it also worked for bait casters. And best way to answer the mail is to give you video. So here it is.
See that right there? It's got the reel clicker. I've got a 1/16 ounce weight, and we're going to show how I dial it in. So one, I've got the spool tension set really tight so there's minimal play. So I'm going to go and drop it, and we're just going to watch it hit and see how there's no overrun. Okay, so we'll bring that up. I'm going to take the brakes and take it all the way to the max right here, so it's on, looks like 6. Okay, and we're gonna see where that takes us. Okay, so took it over here to the left. So what that means is I'm gonna dial back on the brake. Let's go bring it to about halfway between 5 and 6 and see where that takes it. All right, it's going straight. All right, that feels good. Let's try it again. This time we'll dial it down to 5 and see what that does. Okay, 1/16 ounce weight, and the spool tension's been set so it has minimal play. And then when I dropped it, you notice how when it hit the water there was no overrun, and now I was just adjusting the brakes based on the cast going straight. And so in this case, when I first cast it out, it went to my left, and then I dialed it back and it went straighter, and then now it's pretty straight. So let's go and do it again. There it is, going right out there. Nice. Okay. All right, and so I'll just describe it again. This time I'm going to bring it back all the way to the max again, adjust the spool tension so there's minimal play. Okay, right now there's minimal play, and I'm going to release and let it hit the ground, or the water in this case, and watch for any overrun and see how there's no overrun. Okay, so I know I got that set, and the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cast it out, and since it's pulling to the left, I'm gonna decrease the magnetic brake. In this case, I put it halfway between 5 and 6, and I will cast it out here shortly. There it is, going off to the left slightly now. So I'm going to take it to 5. Yep, it's on 5 now. And let's go see what that does. Okay, it's still off to the left a little, but not as much. So I'm going to go and bring it back down again, probably just short of the 5. Let's see, so yeah, just short of the 5 now. Right there, way out there. Nice. Normally when I first start out with a new reel, I'll until my thumb's educated, I'll go with 25 turns. So this one's been educated enough that I can get that thing yanking out there now. So there it is. That's how I dial it in. And I'm doing a side cast because overhead will work, but it tends not to work as good with these one-handed rods, so I'll do a side cast more than a overhead. Okay, here's the other Cast King. This is the one without the reel clicker. Right there, no reel clicker. Okay, this has a 1/16 ounce do-it-yourself inline spinner. Right there. Someone's alarm went off, but let's go and show you what that does. Right there, I got the short rod. Okay, I'm going to describe how I dial it in. Spool tension, minimal play on the side-to-side movement. Release it. Let's See how there's no overrun? Okay. So I'm gonna cast it. I got max brake right now. It's going off to my left, so I'm gonna bring it down a couple of clicks. Let's put it on 5. So it went from 6 to 5. Let's see what that does. Maybe we might even get a fish to hit. No, I thought I saw something move. All right, so let's see what happens. Right, all right, there, it's casting straight ahead. Nice. I was showing the microlight with the Cast King Zephyr with the reel clicker. And in this case, this is the one that doesn't have the reel clicker, but just as easily it can cast a 1/16 ounce rod, no problem. One thing is I am using anywhere between 25 to 40 turns of line on the reel, so it's not been spooled all the way as much as it can be. And then the other thing is I'm using a side cast. Tend to get better casts that way versus the overhead cast.
Alrighty, so that said, that is what I have for tonight's live stream. Again, we were talking about the Blue River Ultralight lures, called them out: spinners, spoons, jigs, soft plastics of the spinners. The Rooster Tail, Panther Martin, and the Mepps Anglia were the go-to ones that AI was suggesting. And oh, by the way, yours truly has used those same ones at the Blue with great success. I would say having any one of those in your toolbox or tackle box will definitely get you some trout. Additionally, with the spoons, the Acme Phoebe Kates or Phoebe Lure, Castmaster, Little Cleo, Super Duper. I tend to go with the Castmaster and Super Duper, but I do have the other two in my tackle box. Additionally, with jigs, have Trout Magnets. It's a little jig that goes about 1 gram. I showed some videos of that, of yours truly catching them, as well as a nice sized bass being caught on that Trout Magnet. And then also some marabou jigs, ones that I tie versus ones that I purchase, or versus ones to purchase. Additionally, you got your power bait, power worm, soft plastics. I did meet an individual last time I was at the Blue River who was using the power bait gulp worms and was doing really well on that. And then again, if you're going to be ultralight fishing, doesn't have to be ultralight bait casting, could be just ultralight spinning gear, using those ultralight lures. Be ready for that big guy to hit. You'll be surprised. I showed earlier a nice size largemouth bass that I hooked into, and it was on a trout magnet. In fact, here, let me go ahead and close out the video using it, and then hey, let me know how it goes. All right, on your end. All right, this was fun. It was 2 pound test line. Fisherman. All right, 2 pound test line. Yep, 2 pound test. I thought it was 4 pound strand. It was 2 pound test. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close out the video. Just like to end on well, a nice size fish. All right, let's do it.
It's Joe, and this round, yours truly taking out the Kingfisher bait finesse reel, along with that Handing Magic L rod, ultralight rod, bait finesse style fishing over here at the local pond. And after a little tweaking here and there, because I had to shift from one lure to other, I went to a trout magnet. 1 gram trout magnet, got it dialed in, was able to get some good cast in, get it over there where I needed to, where the fish were lurking. Well, in this case, this particular fish was a little bit closer to shore than normal. And, well, I guess a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, I wonder what a video's like. Check out this video. It's a nice fish. I'll let the video do the talking.
Woo! Big one.
All right, so the key takeaway is you can catch a nice size fish with a 2-pound test mono. This is that Trout Magnet 2-pound test mono, along with that bait finesse style reel from the Feather Flight Kingfisher and a ultralight rod, the Handing Magic L. Give it a try. Hey, you might get a bruiser too.
This holiday,